what you think is best for the country without being in fear. Listen, I hate to break it to everybody. If your opinion about what's best from the country finds its foundation in fear, your opinion's corrupted. That doesn't mean there's no part of it that's accurate, but that means there's a part of it that's been corrupted. Right? If fear is the father of your view, then your view has been corrupted. Because God don't ever look at anything through fear. Do you see what I'm saying? So whatever foundation you're looking at something is born from fear. That's a great indication to you that you're looking at it through the carnal mind. That's a great indication that you're not looking at it through the eyes of God. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to now figure out how you're going to stop doing that. But you can at least see that and begin talking with God. And tell God, Father, I find my heart flooded with fear about this, that, or the other. Whatever it is. I don't know why this fear is here. I don't know how to get rid of it. But I find this fear is keeping me from doing what I want to do. I find this fear is impacting me every day in the world. I find this fear is impacting my thoughts about my life, my kids' life, my job, everything. I find this fear is overtaking me. You see, you start talking with God. Guess what happens?
Boom.
The fear gets lifted off. The cares of the world come off of you. You begin walking innocently again. You ever notice when we were little kids we could encounter pain and trauma and we were able to get up and walk away like it didn't happen? I remember when I was a little boy and we were trying to learn how to ride the two-wheeler. I had a little Incredible Hulk bike. And you have the training wheels on first, right? And so you're learning how to, you graduate from the big wheel.
That's right.
And now you got the train. Well, you take the training wheels off, and the first couple times you take the training wheels off, you crash. Or I did. Maybe you guys are better than me. But when I crashed, I'd fall and scrape my knees. And my first thought wasn't, how am I going to clean myself up? My first thought was, Abba! And I would run to my dad.
Sure.
And the moment Daddy was there, it's like I completely forgot about what had just happened, and I was free to just go get back on the bike without any fear. See, I didn't take it in. I didn't begin judging everything through that. Mm-hmm. That's what can happen, man, when you begin thinking with the mind of Christ. Even should you encounter something in the world that don't look good or the right way, that even the world might call failure, that doesn't move you. Because you're not judging yourself by the result. If you're not judging yourself by the result, then how can the result judge against you? It can't. Well, if the result can't judge against you, you won't live in fear of it. And then you'll be free to actually see the passion in your heart, or the desire in your heart, and you'll actually be free to just chase after life with everything you got. And you won't feel like you're working hard. You'll just feel like you're living from passion and enjoying life. You see? But the moment the result comes in, see, the world wants to come and judge your passion as good or evil by the result. It wants to get you to judge whether you could do something by getting you to look at your ability. The moment it can get you to do that, fear, uncertainty, doubts coming in. Well, can I do that? Can I do this? You see, what that does is it chokes out innocence and passion. And you begin living judging your passion and judging yourself by your passion as good or evil. I know I lived it, man. Listen, if everybody wants to know, I consider myself to be one of the worst public speakers that ever lived. I have this great fear of standing in front of people when I came back here. Because I had this idea when I was young that I didn't do anything of my own accord. It was always God. And then in that race, when I got injured, I was presented with the thought that God wasn't with you, man. It was always you. Now, I know God is with me in my head, but my heart has a muscle memory. My heart remembers the fear of being somewhere, looking like I was standing by myself and then feeling like I was left there. And so anytime I stand somewhere where it looks like it's just me standing there, I feel that fear. That fear wants to get me to judge myself as whether or not I should be preaching by how I think it goes. Now, what do you think will happen to me if I judge myself that way?
Fear will be the foundation of your life.
I'll quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll quit.
Yeah.
And there was even a period of time where God is ironing that fear out of me, and I'll stand up there. It still happens from time to time. If I have a bad week or whatever, and I get too focused on my own ability, where my mind will go blank. And do you know what was going on in that moment? The serpent was telling me, see, God isn't with you. It's just like back at the race where he left you there. You see, that wants to paralyze me and keep me from living out of passion. What's my passion? To tell everybody I see the gospel.
Right.
To tell everybody I see the truth. That's my passion in every form, in every facet, in every way. But this fear wants to keep me from living out of my passion because it wants to get me to judge myself. You know what I found is every time my mind went blank, I would walk away starting to judge myself. Hath God really said you should be preaching? Hath God really said you should start the church? Look at you, man. You can't even watch yourself preach. Even when you think you remember, look at you. You're too intense. Which was the other judgment.
Right. Yeah.
Do you guys see the way the carnal mind tries to judge our lives? It's done the same thing to all of us.
Yes. Absolutely.
Right? We're passionate about something, and it wants to come and say, oh, but, oh, what about, oh. And next thing you know, we become so self-conscious, we become so filled with judging our passion or what we're doing that it tries to paralyze us.
Yeah.
And we can't live from passion anymore.
We could probably go